So it's not just about the money, and it's something that affects both you and your co-applicant. Some lenders might even peek at your GRE scores. If you cannot find a co-applicant who meets this minimum income threshold, you have 4 options available. Getting rejected for an education loan from one lender is kind of like hitting the reset button. It can really increase your financial stress, and it might feel like you're back at square one. Plus, it can open a door to a bunch of other problems like missed opportunities, deadlines for university applications, etc. My name is GyanDhan, and today I'm here to share with you the top 8 reasons why an education loan application may be rejected and how you can avoid them. Before we start the video, I would like to kindly ask you to subscribe to our channel and turn on the bell notifications so that you never miss any important updates from us. Now, let's get started. So, let's discuss the first reason, particularly related to secured education loans, the suitability of the collateral and the required documentation. If we define secured loans, then it means you have to put up some collateral. Usually, it's immovable property or land that people pledge. But here's the thing, it can be a bit tricky, especially when it comes to agricultural land as collateral. There are a bunch of legal rules and they can be different from one state to the other. So, if collateral doesn't follow the rules, the bank can reject your loan application. Now, when it's about commercial property, the situation can go a couple of ways. Banks might just say, no thanks, we're not taking this as collateral. Or if they do accept it, they might only give you a loan worth half of what the property is actually worth. When it comes to loans with collateral, there is a whole list of documents you've got to provide. Missing any of these documents can also put a big red rejected stamp on your education loan application. So it's not just about the money, it's about the paperwork too. Therefore, it is advised to clear all the collateral and document related questions early in the process so that you have ample time to get everything straightened out. Now, let's talk about the second reason for education loan rejection. And it's something that affects both you and your co-applicant, the CIBIL score. It's basically a number that shows how trustworthy you are when it comes to handling credit, and it goes from 300 to 900. So here's the deal. To get the education loan from banks and NBFCs, your CIBIL score should be at least 650 or higher. The more money you need, the higher your CIBIL score should be. It's like a trust badge for the lender, showing them that you and your co-applicant have what it takes to pay the loan back down the road. Now, if you've not taken any loan previously, don't worry, your CIBIL score will be -1 or NTC. That means that you're as trustworthy as somebody who has taken a loan. Now, let's look into reason number 3 for why education loan applications get rejected. And this one's all about your academic history. So here's the scoop. If you've been an academic superstar and you've secured a spot to a top-notch institute in India, you're in a better position to get that education loan for studying abroad. But if your academic record is more on the average side, or maybe you got into a program through a special scheme that was not solely based on your academic merits, well, things might get a bit trickier. Banks can sometimes see that as a red flag, thinking that students might face difficulty finding good paying jobs, which increases their risk during the repayment period. For most lenders, they'd like to see at least a 60% score or an average GPA of 3 on a 5-point scale. Some banks like IDFC First Bank have some pretty strict criteria in this department. And here is a neat twist. Some lenders might even peek at your GRE scores. A higher GRE score could score you some sweet loan terms like lower interest rates. So it's not just about your past, it's also about your potential. Alright, let's talk about the next reason on our list, number 4, that could potentially lead to your loan application getting the red light. This time we are shining a light on the co-applicant's income. So, the deal is that most lenders have a little bar set for how much the co-applicant needs to be bringing in when they are granting an unsecured education loan. If your co-applicant falls short of this minimum salary requirement, well, that's a pretty solid reason for the loan application to face rejection. Fixed obligation to income ratio, or simply FOIR, is used by lenders to determine the minimum income required for a particular co-applicant. It's basically a way to figure out if you can handle the repayments. Your co-applicant needs to show some paperwork like salary proof, IT returns, etc. that proves that they are making at least the minimum monthly income according to the calculated FOIR. Typically, the minimum income requirement for a co-applicant with no other financial obligations can vary from about 35,000 rupees to 40,000 rupees per month. If you cannot find a co-applicant who meets this minimum income threshold, you have 4 options available. Number 1, you can use a collateral to get a secured loan from a public sector bank. Number 2, if you have work experience, then lenders will dramatically reduce your income requirement for the co-applicant. Number 3, if your academic score or GRE score is very good, lenders will again reduce the income requirement for the co-applicant. Number 4, the final option is to use international lenders who typically do not have an income requirement for unsecured education loans. Moving on to the 5th reason for your loan application rejection, and this is targeting ineligible countries. Now, these countries may be ineligible because the chosen lender does not offer education loans for these specific countries, and this is typically due to limited job prospects. However, this is the case only for a handful of countries. It is essential to note that select countries like the US, UK, Canada, Australia and others can ensure better academic outcomes and job opportunities. Opting for countries like Afghanistan or Israel will likely result in your education loan application getting rejected. Another solution for this can be opting for a loan with collateral, as they have more eligible countries as compared to loans without collateral. The 6th reason that can lead to education loan rejection is selecting a non-traditional course. Before we dive into how this reason affects your application, let's clarify what we mean by a non-traditional course. Non-traditional courses are those that are not commonly chosen by the majority of students. These courses include areas such as music, filmmaking, photography, performing arts, and more. Lenders tend to perceive these courses as having lower job prospects and less earning potential, which can potentially cause repayment challenges after the course completion. Conversely, lenders tend to view STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, courses as having high earning potential after the graduation. Banks assume that students pursuing such courses will be more likely to repay their education loans on time. Reason number 7 for education loan rejection is centered around gaining admission to an unrecognized or non-accredited educational institution. Acquiring an education loan can become exceedingly difficult if your foreign university or college lacks recognition from a prominent government agency or regulatory body. Banks often decline education loan applications from students seeking admission to unaccredited institutions because these institutions typically lack placement opportunities, increasing the risk on loan repayment. Many lenders like ICICI and Axis Bank maintain a list of eligible institutions for loans to ensure that a standardized evaluation process happens for all education loan applications. Moving on to 8th and the last factor that often leads to education loan rejection is incomplete or fake documents. Common mistake that students make while applying for an education loan is incomplete documentation or submission of fake documents. Lenders make it clear in their requirements that proper documentation is a must for successful education loan application. When proper documents are missing, lenders spend more processing time verifying the information that you have provided, which leads to issues with students' financial evaluation and loan eligibility, which ultimately results in education loan rejection. And there you have it. Those are the reasons that could lead to your education loan getting a rejection. But don't worry. There are some smart moves that you can make to dodge these rejections. First things first, get all your documentation in proper order before you even think about applying for that loan. And make sure that you've been admitted to a recognized university for a course that got some sweet job prospects. Keeping your CIBIL score looking sharp is another big win. Stay on top of all your payments. And if you can team up with a co-applicant who's got a solid CIBIL score and meets the income criteria, well, that's a real game changer. And here's a pro tip for you. Don't forget to flex those academic scores. Strong academic scores and high scores in exams like GRE or GMAT are not just good for getting that education loan, they can also score you some sweet loan terms. So it's all about setting yourself up for success right from the get-go. By following these steps and being well prepared, you can increase the likelihood of a successful education loan application. Of course, you can seek assistance from GyanDhan. Our expert loan counselors can guide you on how to avoid rejections, because when you check your loan eligibility with GyanDhan, we evaluate your application and suggest the best lender which you have the maximum chances of getting an approval from. We have been working in this industry for 8 years now and have disbursed more than 5,000 crore rupees in education loans. And with this experience, we are able to suggest the best lender with the highest chances of approval. In this way, you are able to save time and do not end up facing unnecessary rejection. And all of this comes at zero cost to you. To get started, simply check your education loan eligibility through GyanDhan by clicking the link provided in the description box below. That's it for this video. I hope you have found the content useful. If you have watched the video all the way through, do not forget to like and share it. If you are aware of any more reasons for education loan rejections, please share them in the comment box below, and we will provide you with strategies how to overcome them. I'll see you in the next video.